Yeah, for sure. So before real estate, I was just in the military. I was a Marine Corps Osprey pilot. So I was flying the aircraft that take off like a helicopter, fly like an airplane. So it's like a little transformer type of thing. So that was actually a pretty cool journey. So I guess taking it way back, my first duty station, I bought my first house, and that was just through the VA loan. Before then, I tried to buy, but I think it was the universe telling me that I wasn't ready for it. Before I hit my first duty station, I was doing a lot of flight training. So that flight training ranged from anywhere from 4 months to about 12 months. And it wasn't really enough time for me to actually understand like, well, what was the best location for me to buy a house so that it rents properly. I didn't even understand how to comp or how to analyze the deal or like how to analyze anything. I finally hit my first duty station, which was in Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, California. That's when I actually bought it using the VA loan. I figured I was going to be here for 4 years. And I was like, okay, this is a good spot. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I could use this. And I was thinking future wise, well, in case everything goes to crap and I end up homeless, at least I have this house that I could actually rent out the other 2 rooms and actually make these mortgage payments. So that was what was going on in my mind. That's really where my real estate journey started, was buying this house. So fast forward 6 months, I go over on deployment and I had like heart palpitations thinking about an empty house that wasn't going to get rented. The lawn wasn't going to get mowed. Nobody's taking care of anything. So if there was like a rat infestation or a termite infestation or whatever crazy things happen, I wasn't going to be there to supervise it, or nobody was going to be there. So I decided, you know what? Before I leave, I need to get a property manager so I could get somebody in this place. Into the second month, she finally finds a traveling nurse who's willing to stay in the property. And I'm like, all right, cool, we're good. And that person just so happens to leave as soon as I get back. But during that time frame while I'm on deployment, I'm keeping my money. And at the same time, I'm getting paid. I like how this worked out. Like I had a property manager. She did everything. I'm completely overseas right now. I'm in the Middle East at this point, and she's taking care of everything. I'm like, even though this isn't 100% passive, I'm like, I need to look a little bit more into this. But how do I buy another house if I've already used the VA loan? So I'm like, what is another way? So then I actually went on to a lot of podcasts thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? The first guy I actually ever found, his name was DeRay Olalier. He's the person who actually introduced me to creative financing. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me look more into that. So I studied him, went to some of his mentorship classes and courses and stuff like that, got a lot of education, but it still wasn't enough for me to actually close. But that's when I actually first started cold calling. And I talked to people for the first time, and Lance, let me tell you, I've flown planes, I've flown inverted, I've dogfight them. I mean, some crazy scenarios. But cold calling somebody that I've never spoken to before, I don't see their face, I don't know their reactions, and I'm calling somebody about their property saying, hey, do you want to sell it? I've never been more scared in my life. Like I could tell you, like it would be a 2-minute long conversation, and I felt like it lasted for 2 hours. So I get off the phone, like my hands are trembling. I'm like, you could feel like my voice quiver. It was insane, but it took a lot of getting used to. Like it's definitely a comfort zone that I had to push past because this was completely something that I was never taught to do. Right. So fast forward. Just like Sean was talking about, I learned about bigger pockets. Through bigger pockets, I learned about pace. And that's when I really learned about creative financing and stuff too. And just having like real conversations with them, like, okay, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I think my real education boosted when I finally started going up to real estate meetups. And then from there, the rest is history.